from what I know that I'm not supposed to reveal, is this one is not a BYOB. It's in a place that has a liquor license.
Ah, understood. We don't have this particular, every time I have been with this company for quite some time. So the only experience I have with this is when we get a new directive from the company. Companies like people's email signatures to be very specific. And so they'll say, this is what your name and then your position. And then, we get this template a couple of times a year. Anytime they update it from the company, they go, this is how we want everyone's email signature to look. It's nothing oppressive. They just want something uniform. And who cares really? So fine. So sometimes you'll go in and change it. But some companies, it's difficult for people based on their name. And there's a girl who's just starting a new job, and she has a bit of a problem with her company's email format as far as signatures go because of her name.
I am filled with dread over one aspect of moving to a different job that I always face when I do this, which is having to have the tough conversation about how my name fits into a company email structure. My name is Samantha Hart, and most companies use the email designation of first initial last name, meaning that my email would be Shart. And at every single workplace, I have received an email from HR the week before I start letting me know that my name does not exactly fit the company email structure as they would intend.
Now, I've never seen, she goes, most companies do first initial last name. I've never seen that. But if your name is Samantha Hart,
yeah,
right? Like if I had to be A. Cox, I mean, it's grammatically incorrect, but I mean, people's brains can fill in the gaps.
Or Anthony Dick.
Yeah! Right. Or Cody Brown.
Yeah, C. Brown.
He's right there. Or Mary Santora.
No, just the letter M, Alan. You're already not following the rules.
Yeah, but yours would be M. Santora.
Mm-hmm.
Get it, Bill? Oh,
I get it.
What would
I
yours
get
be?
Bill Squire. I don't play by the rules.
He's an email outlaw. If you know anything about him, man, he is a keyboard warrior. He will get back there, and he will F some things up. Shart. Yeah, because it's like, then the HR, hey, your name is not, like I can't have, nobody will make, if I wanted to make a custom jersey with my last name, nobody will do it.
That's not true.
It is true. I'm telling you. I mean, I haven't tried it in a long time.
There's plenty of people with the last name Cox.
I agree.
It's
That's
a
why
common last name.
You understand why it's so frustrating then, because it is not an uncommon last name. But nevertheless, the algorithms it's the same dumb crap, probably the same kind of program that tells people, no, you can't have that on your license plate, no matter how obscure it is.
Well, you can go into team shops now, and they'll do it for you, and they'll approve or not approve.
Right there at the counter.
That way you can have somebody override.
Well, yeah, if you're talking to a person, yeah. But it is certainly not that important to me. And it wasn't for me anyway. It was like for a family member. And I was like, well, I'm not going to the mat for this.
All jokes aside, so your family for generations has been Cox, or is there like an addendum on your last name?
What do you mean?
Like,
it was a Coxstein?
It was a Coxton or something, or like, yeah.
I mean, if you go far enough back, maybe, but I mean, not that I've ever heard.
Like maybe they Americanized it, like back in the 20s when y'all got here or something.
The 20s, the 1920s?
Sure, whatever.
When we got to the United States in the 1920s?
Your grandmother was born here?
My grandmother was born here, yes. So like my great-grandparents would have come over from Ireland.
Yes, and over there, they were cork soakers.
They loved soaking cork. You know what? They were working in the vineyards, and they were working with bourbon, and they were just constantly...
Oh, that Irish whiskey.
Oh,
you gotta have
they were constantly refining.
Kind of soaked
My
cork.
family goes all the way back to the Bushmills distillery. No, I don't know about that, Cody. I mean, it was I never saw anything along those lines, but then again, it's only been in the past year that I got interesting information on my lineage because it really just stopped cold on my dad's side.
We had, like, our whole family are and it makes sense because I have a big African American family, but
What?
they're all African American. Like the top 5.
You're from Zimbabwe.
The top 5 African American names are all in my family. Like every ancestor, like from great grandmother on, had a child, and then they have like one of the 5 major black last names.
Which are?
It's like Williams, Taylor,
Johnson?
Yeah, there's a Johnson in there. And then we know who married white because they got like a German or whatever last name. It's like, yeah, well, they married.
Roskowitz. Well, that sucks too because so many of those surnames were just given to black people, right? Back in the day.
Correct. Like
slavery, they're like, oh, your name is Freeman. Gee, I wonder where that came from. You know, or Williams, because you used to belong to William. That's the thing that's so sad and frustrating about that.
Like I can say my dad's like family's last name because they're all dead. So like I just think about like if I had my dad's side of the family, like grandmother's side was Rosatelli, so that's hella Italian, and then his dad's last name was Schaefer, and that's really German. So like Cody Schaefer or Cody Rosatelli. Like
Cody Rosatelli.
Man, how badass is that? Like Brown is just so basic. Like it's everyone knows like you could either be African American or, you know, then you're white, but then they know if you're African American it came from like a long line of Browns, or you just you know, it was like a slave name pretty much. Cuz it's just like so common. There's white people I know last name Brown, and then black people I'm like, the whole Brown family reunion. No, we're not related.
Well, at least we got a name for your autobiography. Cody is my slave name.
I've been saying that. That's why you give out my government. I don't like it.
All right. I've got to take another break here. If you're trying to get yourself $1,000, you have one last chance today. That's coming up at 5:30 from the Buzzard Bookie. If you don't care about that and you're like, Alan, when can I go see Sammy Hagar? He's coming into July to play Blossom with Loverboy, and I will have those tickets for you when we come back.
It's the Alan Cox Show.
Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app.